The Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series has officially ended and concluded with the huge duel between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. With this though, a lot of fans are in uproar and there's actually quite a bit of controversy revolving around the end of this duel and the fact that Obi-Wan bested Anakin or Darth Vader yet again. And so as we do, we wanted to analyze this a little deeper than we did a few days ago when we explained why Darth Vader is specifically so weak against Obi-Wan, as well as the video that we made that illustrates why Obi-Wan is so powerful at this point in time. So this will sort of be the third entry of that series. You by no means have to have seen those other two videos to understand this one, but you may find the context helpful. Today I wanted to take a deeper dive and a deeper look into exactly why there is this controversy surrounding the power level and power scaling of Darth Vader, specifically 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, as well as explain why this may make sense and where the writers are coming from ultimately having Obi-Wan defeat Vader yet again, where Vader should be in his prime. First though, let's talk about why the fans are in uproar about the power scaling of Darth Vader. Darth Vader in Star Wars canon has been illustrated specifically 10 years after Revenge of the Sith and in this time period that Obi-Wan takes place, as one of the greatest and most terrifying force wielders that has ever lived. He has hunted down dozens of Jedi personally, as well with the help of the Inquisitors, hunted down Jedi Council members at this point in time, and had an extremely easy time dispatching them, as we saw in his very brief duel with Eth Koth. He's combated up to 6 Jedi at a single time and come out on top with nary a scratch. Darth Vader has honed his skills as the Emperor's tool and hammer for the last decade, and because of that, I have narrowed it down to this time period and another time period where Darth Vader is at his absolute peak, which we will be doing a video on the prime eras of Darth Vader, so stay tuned for that. The point is that Darth Vader should be very acquainted with his power within the dark side, where he draws that power from, as well as has trained and evolved his lightsaber style to directly tool against Obi-Wan Kenobi and other Jedi. He will have mastered the way of fear and Dun Mach, using his dark side presence to crash down against his enemies like a wave of terror. He is stronger, more reserved, far more intelligent than Anakin ever was. And make no mistake, this Darth Vader is definitely far more dangerous than the Anakin that we got to see in Revenge of the Sith when he had just become Lord Vader. But yet, he may actually be weaker against Obi-Wan. The point is though, is that this should be a refined Vader. This Vader should not be conflicted, and there should be far less of Anakin within Vader than is depicted. So why does this Vader lose? Well, the story is told to us actually in the previous episode where we got the flashback between Obi-Wan and Anakin in their sparring session. Here, it's illustrated exactly how Darth Vader will later lose his own duel. It is his quest for victory that leaves him blinded. It is because he is so focused on using his rage to destroy Obi-Wan. His tactical mind that he normally uses is completely lost on him, and I believe that this is one of the major contributing factors to why Vader lost. Make no mistake, Darth Vader is not an emotional fighter like the likes of Maul. He's actually very reserved and refined. He kills Jedi by terrifying them and then striking them down at the opportune moment. I've explained it like this before, but while Anakin Skywalker would smash through his enemies and attempt to break their defenses, Darth Vader knows exactly how to cut around them, making his victories far more swift and deadly than Anakin's ever were. When Darth Vader duels, he is completely refined, and he has the finesse of somebody like Dooku. He knows exactly where to place his body, what stance and form to use, and where to place his blade. Make no mistake though, this does not mean that Darth Vader cannot smash through his opponent's defenses. He absolutely can. But again, this Darth Vader is far more refined, and he is also capable of outmaneuvering them, and more importantly, outthinking them. This is Darth Vader's greatest weapon, and this is where Anakin failed. If anything, one of the major complaints around the Obi-Wan Kenobi series final duel is not that Vader is too weak, but that Obi-Wan is too strong. However, against Darth Vader, this also does make some sense. Obi-Wan is far less conflicted with his emotions than Vader is. When Vader is confronting Obi-Wan in this last duel, he is both personalities at the same time. He is tapping into the hatred that belongs to Anakin Skywalker, not to Darth Vader. And it is likely that Anakin on his own, or Vader on his own, would have a far better and easier time defeating Obi-Wan than both of the personalities dueling and fighting him at once. Which, make no mistake, there is still very much some Anakin within Darth Vader at this moment. And Obi-Wan is the only Jedi with the capabilities to draw Anakin out. Even if by drawing Anakin out, it's not by the love like Luke does, but through Anakin's hatred for his former former master. Obi-Wan is in fact the only Jedi that is able to distract Darth Vader this much. In fact, he's likely the only person. Once Darth Vader also experiences Obi-Wan's full strength and realizes that his strength has indeed returned, Darth Vader likely feels some semblance of fear for his old master. Let us not forget that Obi-Wan is the individual that has contributed the most to Anakin's suffering. He took his remaining limbs and severely burned him. Not to mention, he utterly destroyed his ego and who Anakin thought that he was. Anakin thought that he was invincible, unstoppable, and to have Obi-Wan, someone with a below average midichlorian count, defeat him, did terrible things to his psyche. That is why I also believe that there is also some semblance of fear within Darth Vader. This has even been confirmed, as the only two people that Darth Vader has ever admitted to fearing are Darth Sidious, his own Sith Master, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is a fear that Darth Vader does not encounter and does not carry with him with any other duel. But again, against Obi-Wan, he has that slight bit of fear. Back to the hatred that he holds for Obi-Wan though. Darth Vader absolutely hates the Jedi more than anything. He believes that their way of life is flawed, wrong, and too confined, and he believes that of all the Jedi, they betrayed him completely. This works in the favor of Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan is in many senses the perfect Jedi Master, and because of this, to Vader, he represents the Jedi. Now though, let's talk briefly about Obi-Wan. As we mentioned earlier in the video, Obi-Wan is less conflicted about fighting Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan goes into the duel expecting and fully at peace with killing Anakin Skywalker, and this is why he tells Qui-Gon that this will end today. However, at the end of the duel, Obi-Wan discovers that Anakin is already dead, and now all that remains, or at least all that remains on the surface, is Darth Vader. And therefore Obi-Wan's mission is complete and Anakin is dead. That is why Obi-Wan leaves. Another thing is, Obi-Wan is absolutely one of the most powerful Jedi of his era. He's in the top 3, right behind perhaps Mace Windu and Yoda. And this duel very much goes to illustrate it. Sometimes we often view Obi-Wan as the basic Jedi or just slightly above average, but we cannot forget what Anakin told us in Attack of the Clones. Even when Obi-Wan was not a master yet, Anakin said that he was as wise as Master Yoda and as powerful as Master Windu. And this is on full display here, and something that I think fans often forget. Not to mention another important aspect of Obi-Wan in this final confrontation is that Obi-Wan, as we see him duel all other times, is practical whenever he fights. He is restrained and is the master of defense. However, when he unleashes all of his power against Darth Vader, this is perhaps one of the only moments where Obi-Wan, who is not conflicted, he is fueled by passion, but righteous passion. He lets out all of his power against Darth Vader, and for nearly the first time, Vader experiences the full might of Obi-Wan Kenobi, an unrestrained Obi-Wan Kenobi. So to answer the question, in my own opinion, do I believe that Darth Vader is depicted as too weak for this era in Obi-Wan Kenobi? In the final duel, yes. I believe that this could be one of a few points that could be Vader's prime. And against anybody else, against anybody besides Obi-Wan Kenobi, this is Darth Vader's prime most likely. He's tactical, malevolent, precise, deadly, malicious, unwavering in his aggression, and loyalty to the dark side. However, against Obi-Wan, his weakness does begin to make sense as Anakin begins to peer behind the mask of Darth Vader, literally and figuratively. And it is because of that Darth Vader is depicted as weak. But in the end, I leave it up to you. Do you believe that Darth Vader was depicted as too weak in his final duel against Obi-Wan? Is this a worthy controversy? Or do you believe that this falls in line? Before I sign off, I would like to thank my good friend Anthony, who helped research and conceptualize a lot of these points about the final duel, sitting down and speaking with me exactly why Darth Vader was depicted as weaker against Obi-Wan Kenobi, so a huge shout out to him. But as always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel and continuing to support the channel. May the Force be with you, and I hope that you have a great day.